Holland America Line, it is our privilege to sail to some of the most wondrous places on Earth. We feel a responsibility to our guests to deliver the best possible experience. We have a tradition to uphold, a way of doing things right, creating once-in-a-lifetime experiences every time. More than just words, it's our mission.
From the glacial fields of Alaska and South America and the ice caps of Antarctica, to the waters of Europe and Asia and the coral reefs of the Caribbean and South Pacific, we have made a commitment to protect these unspoiled lands and pristine waters. Wherever we sail, we realize that we are guests ourselves. It goes beyond an obligation to protect the environment.
In June 2006, Holland America Line's environmental management system was certified by an independent auditor to conform to the ISO 14001 standard. This internationally recognized standard represents Holland America Line's robust environmental standards and our commitment to continuous improvement and pollution prevention. Success in achieving 14001 certification exemplifies Holland America Line's commitment to be responsible stewards of the environment, and our activities to protect the environment have not gone unnoticed by others. We have recently been awarded with several environmental honors. Let's take a look at this environmental commitment in action.
The oceans cover over 75% of the Earth's surface. They are our home and our livelihood. There is a lot at stake for us. If we don't protect the environment, we are out of business. At Holland America Line, we have a reputation for the finer things in life. We believe that our competitive difference is in the details. We are committed to that philosophy in everything we do. It's our signature of excellence. And in most cases, it's all about what you see. But when it comes to the environment, our signature of excellence is more about what you don't see.
For example, you see a ship sailing off to an exotic destination. What you don't see is how we minimize the exhaust from the engines. You see bath products. What you don't see is how we treat the water after you shower. You see the meals we are proud to serve, but you don't see where the leftovers go.
A cruise ship is like a small city, and like any city, we have to deal with waste. How much waste might surprise you? Every week, on average, a cruise ship carrying 1,700 guests will produce up to 60,000 gallons of sewage. Food and drink consumption averages from 66,000 to 110,000 pounds per week, plus 2 bottles and 2 cans per each guest every day. That's an average of 9 pounds of solid waste produced per person per day.
We have an environmental officer on each of our ships who provides environmental training and oversees shipboard compliance with environmental laws, regulations, industry standards, and company policies. All crew members receive basic environmental training. Those with additional responsibilities receive further environmental training specific to their jobs.
My duty is here to oversee that all the departments we are working with, so that can be from bridge department to the engine room, the hotel department with the galleys, the chemical stores. I have to oversee that everything what they are doing is according to all the rules and regulations, not only set by the company, but also regarding the international and local laws.
Let's look at some of the laws and regulations we comply with. Our vessels are governed by international treaties as well as flag state, port state, and local laws and regulations regarding environmental protection and pollution prevention. The International Convention for Prevention of Pollution by Ships, or MARPOL, is a stringent set of regulations developed by the International Maritime Organization, which is an agency of the United Nations. MARPOL contains regulations governing ship-generated pollution, everything from sewage to solid waste. But who is responsible for enforcing these regulations? That depends on where the ship is operating and where the ship is registered. The country of register is called the flag state. At Holland America Line, our ships are registered in the Netherlands, who have enacted laws to enforce the international treaty. We must adhere to them everywhere we sail.
Once we enter the waters of a particular country, we are bound by their laws as well. The countries whose waters we operate in are called port states. For example, In U.S. waters, we're subject to the jurisdiction of numerous federal and state agencies, including the U.S. Coast Guard, which has protection of the environment as one of its core missions. The Coast Guard conducts inspections on cruise ships operating in U.S. waters and closely examines our environmental policies and procedures. They audit our records and documentation and inspect the systems and equipment that process the waste produced by our ships.
Some individual states and even local harbor and port authorities go even further to protect their coasts and wildlife. Florida, Maine, California, Alaska, Washington, and Hawaii are some of the states that have established their own pollution standards for cruise ships. At Holland America Line, our policy is to exceed the minimum regulatory requirements.
We belong to the Carnival Corporation family of cruise lines. Carnival Corporation has a rigorous set of environmental requirements that we observe. As a leader in the industry, we also participate in a wide variety of industry and self-imposed environmental standards. As a member of the Cruise Lines International Association, or CLIA, we subscribe to aggressive industry guidelines for waste management, reuse and recycling, waste stream management, and shoreside waste disposal. We belong to the Northwest Cruise Ship Association, which sets strict standards for cruise ships operating on the West Coast and in Alaska and Hawaii. We are also members of the International Association of Antarctica Tour Operators, which sets stringent rules and guidelines that we follow in order to protect the unique wildlife and ecosystems of this pristine continent.
All the organizations we belong to work with governments, environmental interest groups, and the scientific community to protect the environments in which we operate. Some of our industry organizations have established agreements and memoranda of understanding with governments that impose standards that are even more stringent than existing regulations.
For our company and all of our dedicated employees, the ocean is our home. The ocean is where we work. Keeping the ocean safe and clean is good for the environment. It's good for global ecosystems. It's good for plant life. It's good for animals. It's good for our guests. It's good for our crews, and it's good for business. At Holland America Line, our goal is to be the industry leader in environmental management. Why? Because it's the right thing to do. We're committed to operating our ships safely while at sea to prevent injury or loss of life, to protect the environment and prevent pollution, to ensure a safe, high-quality cruise for our guests, and to continuous improvement in all that we do.
Thank you for taking the time to learn about the efforts we take to protect the environment. There is nothing more important, no greater purpose than safeguarding our guests, crew, ships, and the environment in which we all live. Our success and our survival depend on it. If you have any environmental concerns or suggestions, contact the ship's environmental officer,